The slap cracked so loud the violinist stopped playing. My head snapped sideways. Champagne spilled across my dress. 500 people stared at me like they were waiting for a second hit. "You trashy little liar," my sister Brooke hissed through her smile. "I told you not to come near me tonight." Then people started laughing. Not everyone, but enough. I stood there frozen beside the wedding cake while cameras kept flashing. My cheek burned so bad my eyes watered. I remember hearing someone whisper, "God, she really showed up looking like that." I wanted to disappear. My name's Valerie. I'm 38 years old, and until that moment I still believed my sister hated me for normal reasons. Jealousy. Family fights. Old resentment. I didn't know she was terrified of me. Brooke grabbed my wrist hard enough to hurt. Her nails dug into my skin while she smiled for the guests. "You ruin everything you touch," she whispered. Then her fiancé moved. Ethan stepped between us so fast Brooke almost lost her balance. His face had gone pale. Not angry. Worse. Feared. He looked directly at Brooke and shouted, "Do you even know who she is?" The entire ballroom went silent. And Brooke's face changed instantly. Like she knew something had gone very, very wrong. Nobody moved. The band stayed quiet. Even the waiters stopped walking. Brooke stared at Ethan like he had betrayed her in another language. "What the hell are you doing?" she whispered. But he wasn't looking at her anymore. He was staring at me. Not with pity. Recognition. That scared me more than the slap. Ethan took one slow step closer. "Valerie," he said carefully, "you need to leave. Right now." I blinked at him. "What?" Brooke suddenly grabbed his arm. "Hard. Stop talking." Her voice shook. I noticed it immediately because Brooke never shook. She was the kind of person who stayed calm during funerals and car accidents. Controlled. But now her mascara was smudging near one eye. Her breathing looked uneven. Something felt wrong. "I don't understand," I said. "You were warned not to contact her," Brooke snapped at Ethan under her breath. "Contact her?" I frowned. "Have we met before?" Ethan opened his mouth. Then closed it. Like he almost said something dangerous. Around us, guests started whispering again. Phones were out now. People recording. My mother rushed toward us with that fake smile she used whenever the family secrets got close to the surface. "Valerie," she said too quickly, "why don't you go home?" Then she leaned close enough for only me to hear. "You should have stayed buried." I stopped breathing for a second. Because my mother sounded afraid too. I left the ballroom smiling. That was the strange part. My face looked calm in the elevator mirror, but my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I kept hearing my mother's voice in my head. "You should have stayed buried." Buried where? I drove home through heavy rain with my sister's slap still burning on my cheek. Every red light felt too long. Every car behind me felt too close. By the time I reached my apartment, I was convincing myself it had all been family drama. Rich people protecting appearances. Nothing more. Then I saw my front door slightly open. I froze. I knew I locked it before leaving. The hallway inside was dark except for the kitchen light glowing faintly across the floor. My apartment smelled wrong too. Like bleach. I grabbed the heavy candle holder near the entrance and stepped inside slowly. "Hello." No answer. But something creaked softly in my bedroom. My pulse slammed against my ribs. I moved carefully past the kitchen and noticed every cabinet hanging open. Plates missing. Drawers pulled out. Someone had searched the place. Then I saw it. A photograph sitting alone on my coffee table. Folded. Water damaged. It showed 3 people standing beside a lake. My mother. My sister Brooke. And me. Except the girl beside them wasn't me. I stared at her face for almost 10 seconds before realizing why my stomach hurt. She looked exactly like me. And someone had written across the photo in black marker. She was never the one who died. I couldn't stop staring at the photo. The girl had my eyes. My nose. Even the small scar near the eyebrow I got falling off a bike when I was 9. I never fell off a bike. I backed away from the table slowly. Something cold moved through my chest. I grabbed my phone and called my mother immediately. Straight to voicemail. I called Brooke next. Same thing. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. "Hello." Heavy breathing answered first. Then Ethan's voice came low and urgent. "Do not stay in your apartment." I gripped the counter tighter. What is happening? You need to listen carefully. His voice cracked slightly. Did you find a photo? My silence answered him. Oh God, he whispered. Fear crawled up my spine. Who's the girl in the picture? He didn't answer fast enough. That told me everything. I walked toward my bedroom carefully, still holding the phone. My closet door was slightly open now. I knew I had closed it earlier. Ethan, I whispered, someone's in here. Get out, he snapped instantly. Valerie, leave now. Then I heard movement behind the closet door. Soft, slow, like someone adjusting their weight. I stepped backward. The door creaked open another inch. And a woman's voice spoke from inside my bedroom. She really doesn't remember anything, does she? I ran. Not toward the bedroom. Toward the front door. My lungs burned before I even reached the hallway. Behind me I heard footsteps crossing the carpet slowly. Not chasing me. Calm. Patient. That terrified me more. Valerie, the woman called softly. You don't have to be scared. I yanked the apartment door open and nearly slipped into the hallway. My phone crashed onto the floor. Ethan was still shouting through the speaker. Get outside. Don't let her talk to you. I grabbed the phone and sprinted toward the elevator. The woman never hurried. I could hear her heels clicking behind me at the exact same pace. Click, click, click. The elevator took forever. I finally spun around. She stood at the end of the hallway under the dim lights. Dark coat. Wet hair hanging over one side of her face. And she looked exactly like me. Not similar. Exact. My stomach dropped so hard I thought I might faint. She tilted her head slightly. You kept the necklace. My hand flew to my throat automatically. The silver necklace my mother gave me when I was little. The woman smiled sadly when she saw it. That belonged to me. The elevator doors finally opened behind me. I stumbled inside and slammed the button repeatedly. The woman walked closer, still calm, still watching me with those familiar eyes. Then she said the one thing that shattered everything I thought I knew. You were never supposed to survive the lake. The elevator doors closed between us. But her face stayed burned into my mind the entire ride down. You were never supposed to survive the lake. I stumbled out into the parking garage shaking so badly I dropped my keys twice. My breathing sounded broken. Too loud. Too fast. Ethan called again. Where are you? Parking garage, I whispered. Good. Stay where people can see you. I spun around immediately. The garage was almost empty. Rain hammered outside. Water dripped through the concrete ceiling in slow echoes. My car sat alone near the back wall. Something felt wrong again. Ethan, I said carefully, who is she? He stayed quiet too long. Then, your real name isn't Valerie. I stopped walking. What? She's your sister. My stomach twisted violently. No, I whispered. Brooke is my sister. That's what they told you. My knees almost gave out. Ethan sounded desperate now. Your family changed everything after the accident at Blackwater Lake 15 years ago. One girl died. One survived. I pressed a hand against my mouth. No. They said the survivor lost her memory. His voice lowered. But that wasn't true. My heart pounded harder. What are you saying? Before he could answer, headlights suddenly turned on behind me. Bright. Blinding. A black SUV roared forward across the garage straight toward me. And behind the windshield, I saw my mother driving. I jumped sideways just before the SUV smashed into my car. Metal exploded across the garage. The impact threw me hard against the concrete floor. Pain shot through my shoulder. My phone skidded away into darkness while alarms screamed from my crushed car. For 1 second everything rang. Then the driver's door opened slowly. My mother stepped out holding a gun. Rainwater dripped from her coat while she walked toward me with terrifying calm. No panic. No emotion. Like she'd already decided this hours ago. You should have left the past alone, she said quietly. I crawled backward, my injured arm barely working. Mom. You are not my daughter. The words hollowed me out instantly. Behind her the passenger door opened too. Brooke climbed out crying hard enough to shake. Mascara running. Wedding dress soaked from the rain. Please just do it, Brooke whispered. We can still fix this. Fix what? My mother raised the gun toward me carefully. Then another voice echoed through the garage. Don't. Everyone turned. The other woman stood near the elevator entrance. My face. My eyes. My voice. Except she looked stronger than me. Older somehow. My mother's expression finally cracked into fear. The woman stepped forward slowly. You already killed one daughter for him. I froze. For him. I whispered. Brooke started sobbing harder. And then I noticed someone else stepping out from the shadows behind the SUV. A man. Gray-haired. Holding the same silver necklace around his fist. My dead father. I stared at him and stopped feeling my legs. My father looked older. Thinner. But alive. Alive. The same man my family buried 15 years ago. Brooke collapsed onto the wet concrete crying. I didn't want this anymore, she kept repeating. I didn't want this anymore. Nothing made sense until the other woman spoke. My name is Claire, she said softly. I'm your twin. Twin. The word hit me harder than the car crash. My father finally looked at me. Shame covered his face like sickness. The accident at Blackwater Lake wasn't an accident, he whispered. My mother closed her eyes. Claire continued carefully. Dad was stealing money from his company. When the investigation started, they planned to disappear. But you overheard them fighting that night. Memories flashed suddenly. Water. Screaming. Headlights near the lake. I grabbed my head. You survived the crash, Claire said. But you lost pieces of your memory. Mom told everyone I died instead. She thought it would protect the family. No, Brooke sobbed. She thought Valerie was easier to control. Silence swallowed the garage. My mother lowered the gun slowly, finally looking tired instead of cruel. Police sirens echoed outside. Ethan must have called them. Claire stepped beside me and placed the silver necklace gently into my hand. You were never garbage, she whispered. For the first time in my life. I believed someone.